Klaus, an ex-Nazi officer, attempts to take his own life, likely due to his inability to stop performing cruel acts onto children. He is watched by Angelo from a distance. Surviving his fall, he is confined to the restraints of an iron lung, a negative pressure ventilator, enclosing most of the human body and altering air pressure within the enclosed space to simulate the effect of breathing. Within such a vulnerable position, a young man, Angelo, one of Klaus's previous victims of his sexual abuse, is hired to be his nurse and carer. Angelo reveals his awareness of Klaus's past of inflicting suffering onto young innocents during the Holocaust by reading through Klaus's written testimonies. Angelo wishes to recreate the same evil actions enacted towards and for Klaus, as Angelo simultaneously gains revenge while also becoming the torturer that Klaus was, gaining a sexual gratification to the achievement of pure evil that mankind can inflict onto itself. This is Auguste Villaronga's In a Glass Cage, a dramatic film exploring the cyclical nature of violence, of how the abused can become abusers, and how the manipulated can become the manipulators. In a Glass Cage is renowned for its disturbing nature, a reputation it has fairly earned due to how dreadfully uncomfortable many scenes are within the film. Child exploitation, sexual abuse, fetishizing Nazi atrocities, and recreation of murders are aspects explored within In a Glass Cage. The film attempts to take one of humanity's greatest evils in recent history and plants its seed within a younger individual, ready to sprout, to demonstrate how the evils of humanity extend beyond the time period of their original actions. The evil which motivated Nazis to abuse and murder innocent lives is the same evil which motivates Angelo to commit the dreadful actions he performs for his own gratification. Therefore, In a Glass Cage proposes that violence and evil is almost a never-ending cycle. The viewer's own discomfort watching this film is an acknowledgement that the actions performed are detestable, an acknowledgement that these evil atrocities that people have enacted onto other people in recent history are truly malevolent. In a Glass Cage teases and manipulates genre convention, initially establishing itself as a dark drama based within realism, gradually transforming into a thriller reminiscent of the Italian giallo subgenre of horror, with its stylistic use of lighting, dripping in eerie tension. Within the film, if Klaus and Angelo are to represent true human evil, then Griselda, Klaus's wife, is the cautious rationale of humanity, and their daughter, Rena, is an innocent forgiveness who wishes harm on nobody. While In a Glass Cage delves into disturbing territory quickly, Klaus and Angelo reflecting the evils within the human condition, it is significant to note that Griselda and Rena are important contrasts, serving as examples that humanity in its entirety isn't an atrocious existence. Rena often presenting kindness and generosity, even in the face of fear, and Griselda presenting a stern obstacle that challenges evil when it rears its ugly head. Angelo is gradually revealed to be a victim of Klaus's sexual abuse, being offered a cigarette and money for Klaus to have a momentary opportunity to abuse him. A traumatic event and difficult to watch. Angelo is a victim of abuse who processes it by inflicting the same abuse onto Klaus, as well as other local children, therefore becoming the monster who had inflicted damage onto him as a young boy. It's a difficult observation, but one that is believable, reflective of the common phrasing that hurt people hurt people. Daniel Goleman, writing for the New York Times back in 1989, reflected on the amount of abuse survivors who unfortunately become abusive themselves. Studies also now indicate that about 1/3 of people who are abused in childhood will become abusers themselves. This is a lower percentage that many experts had expected, but obviously poses a major social challenge. The research also confirms that abuse in childhood increases the likelihood in adulthood of problems ranging from depression and alcoholism to sexual maladjustment and multiple personality. Angelo is an example of an abuse victim becoming an abuser, depression, sexual maladjustment, and personality shifts arising within his own committed atrocities. It's a brutally sobering realization that outside of the realm of fiction cinema, a significant fraction of abuse victims struggle with their traumas and are unable to cope with it. Within the context of In a Glass Cage, Angelo isn't intended to be sympathised with, however, as he revels in the thought of becoming as evil as the Nazis, embracing it, turning Klaus's home into a testament to suffering, wire fencing, abuse and murder turn a once welcoming mansion into the appearance of a concentration camp, through the dismantling of Klaus into the subject of abuse. For his ex-victim turned executioner, Angelo achieves a spiritual transcendence of evil, not only destroying his abuser, but also becoming his abuser, replacing Klaus within the titular glass cage with himself during the film's conclusion, achieved through maddening violence and cruelty, manipulation and abuse. Angelo becomes the malevolent force he suffered at the hands of. It's a dreadfully brutal reinforcement of the notion that, sadly, some abuse victims can become abusers, inflicting the damage to others that they had once experienced. In conclusion, In a Glass Cage earns its disturbing reputation, exploring the cyclical nature of malevolence, encouraging viewers to sit back and watch the devastation unwind. A difficult film to watch, it is also significant to acknowledge that In a Glass Cage provides a stark reflection. To discontinue the cycle of abuse, abuse must be challenged whenever encountered. A special thank you to my super Patreon supporter Gil.